I just found out about it just 5 minutes ago. So it's something that I don't, talk about, put a lot of emphasis on. But it's good for our fans. It's good for Red Raider Nation. And I think it's good for the Big 12. I understand we got 5 teams ranked in the top 25. It just, again, tells you how tough this Big 12 is. So every year we seem to tell the same story that the Big 12 we feel like it's the toughest conference in the country. But again, I've been with this team in this Big 12 for, I guess, going on 7 years or 8, and I think it's the toughest we've ever seen, the Big 12 top to bottom, and it's really impressed with how these Big 12 teams are playing against other competition, and they're getting better every day like we are. So it's going to be a dogfight come January.
And then, after you guys have that game against Tennessee, is it kind of a sigh of relief knowing that you get to come home now, especially after just a hard game like that?
We've been away for a couple of weeks, so it's always great to get back home, play in the United Supermarket Arena. It's a great facility, and also it's an opportunity for us not only to get better, but for us to be back home and hopefully see some new fans. We've got, with our students gone, we'll have a chance for some of these fans that hadn't had a chance to get into our arena to buy a ticket. So over the Christmas holidays, we encourage all of our fans to come out and bring friends with them. We need a big crowd against Arkansas State.
Arkansas State, I know they're a pretty solid rebounding team. Is there anything else that,
Yeah, they're probably the most athletic team we've played, other than the 2 Power 5 teams we played with Providence and with Tennessee. They drive to the basket well. They can shoot the 3, but just very, very athletic, very strong. So they'll give us a different look. We'll have to really work and be better at our one-on-one defense and again, blocking out. They're very good on the boards, and they're just getting back on defense.
Coach, it seems like your defense is improving by leaps and bounds lately. To what do you primarily attribute that improvement?
I think a lot of it's just repetition over and over, building good habits. We've got so many new players, getting them to really understand our concepts on defense, and they're starting to buy in and trust our defense and trust each other. So it starts with that. And then we always talk about one of the biggest elements of defense is blocking out and rebounding. And I thought we did a great job against Tennessee at keeping them off the board. So when you rebound, usually it means you're playing pretty good defense.
And Marcus Santos Silva, what's his health? Is he 100% now? Or?
No, he's not, but he's back in practice today. It's kind of a day-to-day, but he had a severe sprain. Big toe doesn't sound like that's that's very significant, but that's where a lot of your balance comes from. It's been very painful for him. He tried to play a little bit in the Tennessee game, but just wasn't near to 100%. So he'll play a little bit. We'll just see it. We'll hopefully get him ready for the Gonzaga game on Saturday.
Coach, can you talk more about the Red Wolves? I see they average 75 points a game, and what your defense is going to have to do tomorrow night.
Pete, they spread the floor, and they're just really good at one-on-one and getting to the paint. So we've got to keep them out of the paint area and protect them, the rim. They'll get in there and then drive it and kick out for a 3, or just try to finish it. And they've got a couple of guys that are just unbelievable offensive rebounders. So this game, our challenge is going to be stay in front of them, try not to foul. They get to the free throw line a lot, and just try to stay in front of them and then block these guys out. And along with that, just sprint back on defense. With something we see over and over again. Transition defense has always been a challenge for us, and it's important that we get back and get in front of them, stop them just in that first 10 seconds.
Well, getting that big win over Tennessee, and then with Gonzaga looming, how do you make sure these guys stay focused and don't jump ahead?
Yeah, it's just human nature. We take the path of least resistance. A lot of times we want to get comfortable, feel comfortable, and it's a challenge for every coach. Anytime you have a big win, to remind your guys to keep them focused, quit looking through the rearview mirror, and just stay focused on what's in front of you. And we've talked about those and challenged them to do that. But it's always a concern that there's a letdown once you have a big win like that. All your friends, everybody's telling you how good you are, how great you are, and sometimes you start believing that and let it go to your head. You got to come out and work every day, and we certainly have respect for Arkansas State.
Is there one player so far this year that's really surprised you?
Well, you know, you can't say enough about Daniel Bacho. He's been outstanding, getting better every game, and he was so important in that game against Tennessee. And then T.J. Shannon, he got his second, I think, double of his career, but we got him rebounding. And when he rebounds, I think he had 11 or 12 boards. It makes us so much better on defense. So those two in particular. And then I thought another player is Kevin McCullough, who's one of our experienced guys that handled the ball. I thought really did a great job of just leading our team. There were a lot of some frustration, adversity we had to go through, and I thought he was really steady and kept his poise and did a good job of just directing our team on both ends of the floor.
Coach, you already talked a little bit about Terrence, but do you kind of feel like that's the version of Terrence that you're going to eventually see once he gets consistent?
Carlos, I hope so. I mean, we just, you know, can't say enough great things about the way TJ played, and you know, we're trying to just get him to be that complete player, you know, consistent on both ends of the floor, and you know, he's got a chance to make a lot of money someday in the pros, and this is one of the things he has to do. He's going to have to be able to fill up the stat sheet, not just in shooting, but also rebounding and assist, and he's starting to do those things. So we're hoping he's kind of got to that next plateau, and I thought he slowed down a whole lot and made some big adjustments from the Providence game. Didn't rush his shot, got in the paint and made some nice passes under control. So a lot of improvement for TJ from one game to the other.
Speaking of improvement, what do you feel you all have done through this kind of long break before you played Arkansas State today?
Well, just we're still doing the same thing, working on fundamentals, working on defense every day. One of our biggest challenges is our turnovers, and this is an area where we've got to get those turnovers down to 9 or 10, and so we're doing a lot of, you know, just fundamentals and shot fake and pass fake and pivoting and passing out of traps and just the things that you do starting 7th and 8th grade. We're just going back to the fundamentals and trying to slow down and making sure that we don't rush. A lot of times these turnovers you get in too big of a hurry, and so we want them to kind of be quick but not hurry.
Last one from me. In terms of Desi Sills, their leading scorer, former Arkansas player, I guess what's made him so good?
Yeah, you know, he's a very good player, excellent driving. You know, he was a guy that got in the portal. We looked at bringing him in here, and so I know he'll I think he'll have a chip on his shoulder coming in to play well. And of course, Coach Williams coached him last year, so we know all about him. But he's really good at driving. He's a guy that can score, and you know, athletic and has a lot of finishes around the basket. So we'll definitely try to stay in front of him and try to help off as much as we can. But very dangerous player.